Hello, and welcome to the Neuroquirky Nexus podcast, the podcast where we explore holistic, out-of-the-box solutions for parents and educators navigating the beautiful, complex world of neurodiversity and the amazing children in their care. I am your host, Lori Bloyer, former veteran teacher turned holistic neurogrowth coach, and I'm a mom who has lived this journey from the inside out. So the podcast has taken a little break, but we're waking up again. And for the next several months, something exciting is shifting in the podcast. I'm joined every week by my incredible colleague, Andrea French. She is the founder of Education Elevator, creator of the Shift Method, and a powerhouse coach who has spent 20 years in the classroom and knows firsthand what it means to carry more than anyone sees. Together, Andrea and I are hosting a live weekly conversation in our Facebook community called The Support Circle. We invite you to join us. Links are in the podcast show notes. And we are bringing those conversations straight to your ears through this podcast. Whether you're a parent advocating fiercely for your neurodivergent child, a teacher running on empty, or both, this series is for you. Because when the adults caring for children are supported, everyone wins. Are you ready? Let's get into it.
Welcome to our live today to support parents and teachers. I am Andrea French, and I am an educator elevator. I work with teachers to help them develop healthy rituals so that they can connect within themselves and find their authenticity to connect with the children and really teach with ease. And I'm coupled with my colleague, Lori Bloyer. She specializes in working with parents that have neurodivergent children. So we created the support circle because we believe that if we can connect parents and teachers together and to give the best support to their children, then it's just going to be a complete success. And that's our hope, is to give parents and teachers ways or tools to be able to get through challenges and celebrate yourself and take care of yourself so that you can respond as your authentic self and teach your child and teach the children that too. Resilience. And so that's the beautiful thing about it. So last week we spoke about really how self-care is really important for parents and for teachers. You know, if we give so much of ourselves to our children every day in many different ways, and it's really important to find ways to take care of yourself so that you can replenish yourself so that you can keep doing that, right? And also, in addition to taking care of yourself, to also give yourself a lot of grace and not focus on the things that you didn't get done. Because, you know, as a teacher and as parents, there's so many things that you think, oh, I could have done this and that. And you can, but I think it's more important to focus on your small wins. And we talked about the Lilikoi blossom and the small wins and focusing on that to build the momentum to keep making these changes all the time that will create a life change. What are we going to talk about now, Lori?
All right. Well, today we're going to talk about something that's a little hard. Last week was about self-care. This week is about what we call the invisible load, the load that we're all carrying, the weight we're carrying as teachers, as parents, as caregivers of these amazing children that are in our care. And so we're going to be, looking at what the invisible load is, how to work through that load, especially the end of the school year for teachers, educators, and of course, for parents and the children. So for everyone, we're carrying this load, and it can be like a bag of rocks in a backpack that you may not think about. And so that's why we're kind of calling it the invisible load. Because if you start to take out these rocks out of your backpack, which I hope we will uncover a few of them today, and start the process of lightening your load and giving you that new perspective to embrace this lovely class you have, or these lovely children that you have. And of course, always going back to what we talked about last week, which is the self-care. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm excited as all. Thank you everyone for being here. If tech is working out, we should be streaming on several locations. So if you want to give a shout out, we're happy to answer any questions that you have. If we see them, of course, we're talking a lot, but we will try to see those questions if they come in. If we don't get them this time, we can answer them next time. We'll be here every Sunday. So I think we're on a good tech streak. So yeah, are you ready to talk about invisible load?
Yes, I was looking down because I'm on my phone checking to see if it's streaming live on the support circle, and it is. And so I just typed into the support circle, hi parents and teachers. So I'm looking at that chat, and I'm looking at our chat here right now. So please type in if you're joining us from where you're from, and if you're a teacher or a parent, how old your child is, or what grade you teach, just to connect and get to know each other. I was a special education teacher for about 20 years. And then I went into coaching teachers. And I just want to say that the load, the load is a big one. I've also been a general education teacher, different types of loads for different types of teachers. And especially, I was just talking to Lori before this call this week. We're talking about how this time of the year is the most intense time of the year for teachers and probably children, students, because this is like the final countdown where you have to get everything. You have to finish all your units, do all of your testing, and then do these end of the year performances. Or we have May Day here. They've been practicing these dances, and you have to be able to do these practices, but then be able to still teach what you need to teach and just get through it. And it's a lot. And especially in these last 2 weeks, I'm in the last 2 weeks of school. So it can be a lot, and there are a lot of things on your plate that are invisible load. And yet somehow we still get through it. But I do want to tell you as a teacher that it's okay if you didn't get everything done this year. And it's okay if you weren't able to reach every single child in your classroom the last month or whatever. You have good intentions. You're a good person. And even if you think that what you did wasn't a big deal, it was a big deal. Just you caring and your presence in the room is enough. You are enough. So that's what I want to leave you with. What do you think, Lori?
That's I think those are huge statements. That's why I was like, oh yes, those are just like my guy, because those, yeah, we always, well, I was a teacher for 25 something years, and I always ended the year with I could have, I should have, I wish I had, wouldn't it have been nice to have, right? Those would have, could have, should have. And I just felt like sometimes I was just disappointed. Like I wish I had reached this one kid, or wish I had done that, done a different lesson, or something had gone differently, or reached out to parents more often, or, there's always the thing or the million of things that I kind of woulda, coulda, shoulda. But that was the past, and the future will come right here, right now, at the end of the school year, and being present with the kids and present with the life we have and the work we're doing is, I think, what's really, really important, right? Just to be here and in the moment with those that we're working with will help lighten that invisible load, right? Will help not think about, well, what I could have, should have in the past, or what I might do right here, right now, and thinking I can just greet them where they are and be the best teacher to close out this year in the best way possible, or the best parent, or the best kid even, right? If your children are listening. Yeah. So that's what I would say about those end of school year. It's a big time. You're right. There's a lot to unpack there. Did you want to add to that, or are we lagging?
Well, I guess, no, from a parent perspective, do they feel that? I mean, I'm a teacher and a parent, so I feel it, but I don't, it's part of the parent or the teacher in me that feels this end of the year high volume energy.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought you wanted, yeah. Right. Sorry, I thought you wanted me to talk about the school part. Yeah. The teachers, okay, fine. The load the parents are carrying, you guys, I used to always thank the parents as a teacher. I used to always thank them and say, thank you for getting them to school as often as you did, hopefully almost every day. Thank you for packing, whatever, 180 lunches. Thank you for, putting on clothes and doing morning routines for however many times it was. Just, I want to honor them. And especially now that I focus on neurodivergencies, right? The parents, what you're carrying in the morning is a lot. And that's why we're calling this the invisible load. People see, or even some teachers see, when you drop off the kids, they don't know the hours that it took to get your kid to school. And so I just really want to honor that. Yes, mornings, lunches, after school, homework, bedtime, all of that weight and all of that exhaustion is what you're carrying in those backpacks I was talking about, right? And I'm sure Andrea and I are going to unpack some strategies for helping with that. But we just want to honor that we know you, we see you, we see that the struggle is real, that, countless parents that I talked to are just, right? Whether you have a neurotypical or a neurodiverse child, it's exhausting to come to the end of the year. The unfortunate news, and I think Andrew and I are going to definitely talk about this coming up, is, in another episode, is summer's coming. So now we're out of our routines and we have a whole nother type of struggle, and the struggle's real. And these recordings will be turned into podcasts, but also my podcast from last year talked about getting rid of the summer and the summer struggle. So we will be also posting those too. But yes, I just want to start off by saying I honor you, I see you, and we know that it's so challenging to carry this load that others may not see when you drop your kid off, or educators may not see. So that also comes with the guilt that sometimes parents feel, right? The guilt that Andrew was talking about from an educator point of view, but am I a good enough mother? Am I a good enough parent? Am I a good enough caregiver? Am I doing the right things? Am I failing them in some way? Am I not saying enough? Am I saying too much? Right? All of the swirl that goes on is guilt-ridden, and that's also really, really challenging, and is an invisible load that we carry when you're at the grocery store and you are dealing with a meltdown right in front of everyone, and you're wondering, am I doing a disservice to my child? Am I doing a disservice to the public around me and to myself and to my groceries and my ice cream's melting, right? All that guilt that we feel, it can be overwhelming. It can be overwhelming. So that weight also that we feel as parents of neurodiverse kids, right? I have to handle the IEP. I have to handle the meetings, the advocating for my child. That weight also comes at an invisible load, right? See, these are the boulders that are in your backpack that I think, I don't know. I'll let you talk. What do you think about the weight that the parents carry? What do you think about all that, Andrea?
Yeah, and to have to be the foundation for your child, or the rock, speaking of weights, to have to be the rock and be there for your kid, and be emotionally stable, and regulate your emotions. That's really hard to do, especially when you're in a stress situations, or if you're a single parent too, and you're doing it all by yourself. God bless you. I don't know how you do it. You're amazing. Like, that's unbelievable. And my heart goes out to you. And I want to tell you parents the same thing I told the teachers. It's okay if you're not perfect. It's okay if your child acts out at school and the teachers you want to talk with the teacher about it. It's not your fault. I feel like this is the biggest thing that's blocking teachers and parents from coming together, because we both want the same thing. We both want the best for the child. But then there are these feelings of guilt, like from the teacher, like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. We were never trained to teach ourselves or children how to regulate our emotions. And I never received a college course on neurodivergent children. Maybe there are some now, but I don't know, and we were never trained. We never did professional development really on that I can remember. It's usually more curriculum based. And that's where I'm a big advocator for teachers needing more personal development in those areas, and parents too, because it's really hard. So I'm going to go back to what I'm saying. I feel like the major block is that parents, what I've seen, and this could just be my perspective as a teacher, is that they feel like their child's behavior is a reflection on them, and then it's their fault that they're acting this way. And that's not true, because number one, regardless if it's a neurodivergent child or not, kids do stuff like that. All kids misbehave. They test your waters. That's what a kid does. And teachers are really aware of that. And your kid is not the only kid that's misbehaving. And there are good kids that misbehave. And I love it when I see good kids that are known to be good misbehave, because to me, that's normal. I'm like, sure, this person's normal, right? So for you to be able to be like, hey, I don't know what's going on with my child, but I'm willing to do the work, and I want to talk to you about it. Let's get on the same team together, because I want him or her to learn ways to cope and get through the day, and I believe they're worth it, and it'll make our lives easier, both of us. And that's what I have to say about it.
So you can see, if you're listening, and just give a shout to Ruth. I saw you in the chat over there. Thank you, Ruth. And those of you that are watching the recording.
Ruth on her. Ruth is saying that she was a school bus driver, and she went to university for elementary education, but switched to business. And she's coaching kids, but she realizes that teachers are stretched, but they're doing an amazing job.
Thanks, Ruth. And so you can see why we in the support circle, right? We are really focusing on, there's so much overlap between what an educator experiences and what a parent experiences. And there's so much support we can give each other and hold each other's hands. And that's why we kind of pictured it the circle, right? We're all in it for the children, right? All of us, that's where our hearts are. And so, we're hoping with these two different perspectives, you're seeing that this really just a circle of interconnectedness that all leads back to the children, and all of our hearts are in the place for the children. So I just really want you to know that as a parent, right, that feeling that guilt just means you care. It means you are trying the best you can with the tools you have and the support you have. And it means you care, right? You're not failing. You're just, every day is learning, right? Every day is like, woo, that didn't work. And yes, I know that this does, what would you call it? Maybe the script changes, weekly maybe, or even maybe daily, and you're figuring out who is this person today, and who is this person in front of me as a teacher, right? Like, who are these 20, 30 children in front of me? But it just means that we care so much, so much. So I just want to say that about that invisible load of guilt that we feel, and the other invisible load of the weight of just feeling like I'm all alone in this. I have no support. I have nobody to reach out to. I have, it's just me struggling and suffering. So, obviously that's why Andrea and I are here. We are not alone. We're here to support you, and we're here to hold your hand and make you feel like it's not, an individual experience. But it's, we can help each other collectively, and it's, we see you. So we want you to feel seen. And I would love if unless you had more to add to that, but I would love to just kind of give them some tools, release that load. How are you feeling about that? Yeah.
Let's do it.
For parents, I wanted to give them, just like, what I teach in my membership and what I teach as a coach is the first A, of my 5A journey is the awareness. So I would love if, I'm not trying to give you more load. I'm just trying to make you aware. Right? Andrea and I have been talking about that. What the reality feels like. We're hoping that will bring you back to what you're, that you become aware of what your reality feels like. So to do that, I'd love if you could just write down every day, just one little success, or even if you just say it in your head, one little success that you had. Not because I'm trying to be like, oh, just Pollyanna positivity, but if you start seeing that there are successes there, you will start noticing more successes. It will be like a chain reaction. You will be connecting that neurologically in your brain that there is one success. So you'll start noticing more. So if you can start to say, okay, back to the grocery store, right? So like, wow, okay, I got out of the grocery store. I navigated that meltdown. Yeah, there was a meltdown. And yes, the ice cream melted. Now it's a bummer, but I navigated the grocery store. I got out. I didn't yell at my kid. We got out of the door and we got home safely. That is a huge win. And that would be an example of, I did that. I as a parent struggled, but I did something amazing for my kid, for my family, and for myself. I proved that I didn't lose it. I showed my child that I can be calm in difficult situations. I set that example for them. I kind of let the people around me have their own life and didn't worry about it as I navigated the tantrum and went home and gave my family food. So I just want you to start seeing the little things, even if they're little, that you did. I bet you, if we start talking about these over our Sundays, you're going to see that they are bigger piece. Yeah. What do you think about that? Do you have something to add about that for educators or?
Yeah, I think that's a good, because like you said, you can take the small wins to create momentum for continuing on and getting even bigger wins. I had a session with a teacher last week, and we were trying to do the first part of my program where you shine your light on yourself and find out what your heart truly desires. But this teacher was so overwhelmed. Like, I'm guessing parents are so overwhelmed with everything that they're in the fight or flight mode right now, just surviving, that they can't even connect with themselves and figure out what they really want. And I always say that joke, like, I don't even know what my favorite ice cream flavor is anymore as a mom. Like, cause I'm just like, oh, I'll just get what you want and I'll eat whatever you don't eat. It's that type of thing. So anyway, she was feeling really down and on herself and couldn't even think of anything except she just wanted to be, she's a teacher, but she just wanted to be a good mom. So it's kind of, they're so interconnected. And he was saying she's not responding the way that she wants to respond because she's stressed out. And so this links into what you're talking about. And so I talked to her about the pattern interrupt method that I teach in my thing. And I don't know if I should get into the whole thing. Maybe I should just tell the strategy of it. I don't have to tell my funny story. What do you think, Lori? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. We could do the strategy, and then maybe we'll make sure they come back next time for the whole story if you want.
So my pattern interrupts. So that's the thing, that when your child or your student does something that's very triggering. Well, first of all, it'd be good to sit down and think about the things that really trigger you. Maybe if you're a teacher speaking out of turn or just being disrespectful, or, as a parent, throwing a temper tantrum or refusing to do something, whatever, you can sit down and write down what those things are so that you are aware that when that happens, that this is a trigger. Like in the moment, you're kind of like this, but if you are looking and you're aware, then you can go into the next phase, which is where you take a deep breath. And you think of one of the funniest moments in your life. Like you were with friends, or maybe you were with your child, or something extremely funny that every time you think about it, it makes you laugh. And it might take you a minute to figure out what that is, because sometimes people are so overwhelmed, they're like, nothing's funny. But I guarantee you will find a moment, even if it was 20 years ago, that makes you smile or makes you laugh. Or if you have a friend who's hilarious and they said something really funny, you can think of that. And after you think of that, then you can think, man, what is this really teaching me? Like, what? I know it's teaching you patience, but like, how can I respond in a much loving way? Like how I feel when I think of this funny thing that's happening to me. And you might not even think about it, but after you break that pattern and you think of something that's funny and you laugh about it, then you respond. Then you can really look at how you responded. Like, no, I was able to, create laughter or connect it with affection, or, with genuine care, like my authentic self, instead of being like, or whatever. So, and I know that this method, it's not perfect at first. You're not going to be perfect. You might not even get through all those steps. You might get to the step where you're aware and you take a deep breath, and that's it. And that's okay. Then you can keep going further into it, where then you picture your thing. And it sounds like it's a long process, but this like takes seconds. This is like 30 seconds. This whole thing goes in and it breaks your pattern. You laugh and you smile, and then you think about it. But what I really like about it is once you get it down, well, it's a continual process, but once you get better at it, then after you do it, you can reflect, you can do some self-reflection and be like, yeah, I like that. I did that. And that's how I'm going to do for the next time that this happens. And then you can develop strategies for different situations. Well, next time I'll tell you what my funny story is.
Yeah. It's a good one. You'll have to come back next week. Well, yeah, that's great. I love that pattern interrupt. I call it the spiral interrupt when you're working with the kid, right? That a child that's also spiraling, that if you catch it, right, first you've got to also be aware that they're spiraling, or aware of how you are at the moment, right? That you're not spiraling. But if you can catch either, what Andrew was talking about, your spiral or their spiral, and interrupt it either with something funny or with something, I know humor definitely worked with my son. and that's how we survived. But yeah, even direct of, hey, you did this really great today. That's amazing. And, just catching it. So I think awareness is a big first step. Always just paying attention to yourself and your child and the environment. Just starting to become aware is an amazing first step in everything that we do. So, yeah, I thank you. Yeah, what do you think, Andrea? Any last comments we got to share, or how are we doing?
No, I just think that when you do things to break that, being in that state and really focus on something that makes you happy, that you can respond, just like you said, either with humor, which humor is great to use as a teacher too, or with genuine concern.
No.
Hey, this isn't like you. I really care about you and I want you to be successful. Like either one is a good path.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for coming or listening to the recording. We appreciate you. I don't know if you're still there. Thank you. And the others that might have been quiet. We're on platforms, so it's kind of hard to see all the platforms at once. But Andrea and I have a workshop coming up on the 28th of May. So we will be sending out information about, I will be sending out information about my workshop coming up, about 3 shifts you can take if you'd like more family-friendly support. I will be having that workshop on the 28th. So go ahead and reach out to me. Did you have a workshop coming up soon too, Andrea?
I don't have one coming up this month. I have some other things that are going on, but I definitely plan on having one soon, or can make myself available if anybody wants to have a discussion or a phone call.
Wonderful. And of course, and we have the support circle Facebook group. So please reach out if you need help, right? That's why we're here in the community. That's why, free resources in that group. If you're in the group, we will be adding free resources to help you. And that's why we're here every Sunday. So come join us, and reach out if you need support between times that we're live. Yeah. Because we just really want to, like we said, our big goal is just for the teachers, the families, and everyone to circle around these children and support them and hold them up, because that's what we have to do. If we don't want to continue this future that we have to make a change. And that's why we're here. So we just really want you to know that as a teacher, as a parent, their biggest asset is you, right? You, the caregiver, you, the teacher, you, the person in their life. But you also need support too. So we're here for you. All right. With that, we hope it all technology worked out, and we will be here next week. All right. Anything else?
Well, that's great. We'll see you Sunday.
Okay. Goodbye. Bye. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. If something in today's conversation landed for you, a moment of recognition, a tool you're going to try, or simply the relief of feeling seen, that's exactly why Andrea and I show up every Sunday. You can join us live each Sunday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific, 1:30 Mountain, 2:30 Central, 3:30 Eastern, inside the support circle on Facebook. The link is in the show notes. Come as you are, bring your coffee, bring your questions, and meet us live there. And if this podcast is helping you, the single best thing you can do is share it with one of your friends, a parent, or educator who needs it. Leave us a review, hit follow whenever you're listening, and I'll see you next week at the Neuroquirky Nexus, where science meets quirk, and every quirk is a connection waiting to be made. See you next week.